I was actually studying abroad in Brazil. And I was sitting on the beach and I was like, how do I earn money and still sit on the beach? I realized I needed to earn passive cash flow.
I wanted to bring value today by bringing a friend of mine who also happens to be probably the most successful, not only financially, but his family's beautiful and the way you live is beautiful, but most successful friends that I have. Josh Volen. Can we give it up for Josh real quick?
Thank you.
He has gross assets under management, $1 billion. That's with a B, $1 billion. And he is the president of Sire Equity. You have net assets of $550 million. And when everything boils down to it, his net profits last year was over $20 million. Yes, and so we're talking to a very, very amazing businessman. So a lot of these are entrepreneurs who are trying to scale their business from 0 employees to 40. Yep. So I'm gonna kind of dive into a little bit, man. Thank you again. Tell everybody a little bit about your business, what it is, sure. And they'll kind of ask some questions around that.
First and foremost, I'm an entrepreneur, right? I started my own company. I'm not employable by other people, so I had to create my own job. I was actually studying abroad in Brazil. And I was sitting on the beach and I was like, how do I earn money and still sit on the beach? I realized I needed to earn passive cash flow, right? I didn't want to trade time for dollars, time for treasures. So I went into brokerage. And in brokerage, you don't get paid. You get paid, you get to eat what you kill, plain and simple. Sales, right? I'm betting on myself, you're betting on yourselves. And my goal all along was to that financial freedom, right? To earn money, be able to sit on the beach, be here with you, and still earn and build that team, build that business. And so 5 years into the business, being a broker, I had great success. First year, rookie of the year. By the 5th year, I was one of the top brokers in the company. It was 1,600 agents. I was a top 30 agent at that point. It was time. I was there to learn, to earn, build relationships, and I was moving on. I was gonna start my own business. So working for myself from the beginning, right, as a salesperson.
It's just a crazy desire to learn. Right, and so at such a young age, by the way, and so talk about some of that self-education.
It's pretty simple stuff for life, for me.
Right.
Like if you're using my philosophy on life, it's add value, be of service. If you add value, you'll get value. Be of service. When you give, you get, right? You get so much more to be of service to others. That's the most times where I feel fulfilled, right? You can chase that horizon all you want and try to chase money. That's fleeting. But to be of service and to give, that is forever.
Yeah.
That feels amazing, right?
Right.
And be an expert. To be an expert at something, that 10,000 hours rule, to understand and really understand, to be able to teach others like you guys do, that's huge value. That's being of service, that's adding value, and you're an expert. And when you're an expert at something, instead of being a generalist at everything, or trying to be, you can add things to that. And the last thing is, which is foundational, which what we're all looking for, is relationship, right? Build relationships. Move from transactional thinking to transformational and trusted advisor. People ask, how are you successful? Is because I approach things as if this is a relationship for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
So I'm doing the right thing every time, not just when it suits me, every time. Giving the advice or the options that's the best for them, because what goes around comes around, it'll come back. I'm adding value. And so the mindset was, people look at a pie, which is a book. Mindset by Carolyn Dweck is a great book, by the way, right? So getting your mind right for this. But there's a scarcity mindset and an abundance mindset, right? So there's a pie right here. And a lot of people, the takers of the world, and people that have less, they're trying to get the biggest piece of that pie possible. And with me, when I see that pie, and I'm in a very comfortable position, but when I see that pie, I'm going, hey, eat the pie, enjoy it.
Right.
Guess what? Because I'm a baker, I'll make more pies.
That's good.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's the difference between abundance and scarcity. Leadership's difficult and hard. It's the most rewarding thing, and it's the toughest thing at the same time. And it starts with modeling. Like, it's not what I say, it's what I say, but it's really what I do. They learn from me by what I'm doing. And kids are the best at this, right? You say something like, you don't eat that, you don't eat dessert before dinner, and then they catch us in the kitchen scarfing down an ice cream before dinner, and they're like, no, they eat ice cream. So it's modeling, right? And being consistent with that. So that's the implicit version of leadership. It's also culture, right? Like, I had a very jaded view of culture, right, when I started the company. Because I'm like, culture, that's that Google thing where they got the ping pong tables and they got the chef cooking for them up in Silicon Valley. There's blowing money left and right. Like, this is a business, we gotta make money. But it was all modeled. And I realized that implicit is good, but to really, just like goals or anything else, to make it powerful, take the implicit and make it explicit. It's got to be written down. Because if I put it on paper, I'm committing to that.
Yeah.
It's like, this is how we guide our lives. This is how we make decisions. This is who we are. And so coming full circle on leadership, it's doing what I say I'm going to do.
Got it.
Modeling that culture and values. Being vulnerable is the toughest thing I had to learn, but the easiest thing I can do for my team. A majority of the books I read have nothing to do with business sales. I read a lot of leadership books, but that was more insecurity. Where I would go with that is, I needed to learn about me. I'm the most complicated problem to figure out in my life, is me. I'm the toughest critic on me, right? No one else. And so for me to be a better leader, to be a better husband, to be a better father, to be a better son, to be better with compassion and kindness, if in case I don't get there and it's quick or whatever it is, was to learn about myself, right? So I read a lot of books about being introspective books. Siddhartha, you know, that's Buddha, right? Like I'm reading about life and the essence of those things and going, what is this about? Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like where am I on this? Takers versus Givers, Mindset by Carolyn Dweck, Grit by Angela Duckworth, Zaha Hadid's books about perfect imperfection, like all these different things, which I read today, I've read before, that I offer to others, understanding psyche, how we think.
But I love that mindset because that's really, I think, what's helped you get where you are today. And it's never being comfortable with enough that I know. And I think a lot of times we get to a certain point, it's like, oh, what's that book gonna help me with?
The idea of reaching potential for me is, I'll reach my potential when I die. That's learning. That's the last day I get to learn, is the day I die. Hopefully there's more, right? But like, it doesn't stop. I typically have 3 things in my life at any given time. Mentors. Let's just talk about mentors, right? So I believe in mentors. And I believe that mentors take different shapes and sizes for different things. I don't believe there's one mentor. There's no one other Josh Volen out there that I'm gonna mirror and be just like that person. I'm gonna get the life path, right? Like, that's just not real. But there are better husbands, better fathers, better people out there in certain areas that I'm trying to get better at that I can have as mentors. And mentors are not asking for anything from you in return. They want to give back out of the goodness of their heart. That's a mentor. Then you have coaches. I have coaches in my life, right? People that are going to hold me accountable. I may pay them even to hold me accountable. You go to the gym.
How many coaches do you have?
We have one business coach that's been with us since inception.
Okay.
I brought him in when we didn't even have an employee, right? 1 or 2 at any given time, coach. Right? And so I also have peer mentors and peer coaches as well. I would say coaches, someone you might pay, but again, accountability, right? And then consultants. Those are the snipers. They've been there, they've done that. I am paying them for their expertise. It could be the most badass lawyer, that's $1,000, $1,500 an hour, but that 1 hour, you're learning 20 years of experience in that 1 hour, right? They're consolidating it down. It might be something to make that one introduction, right? Or whatever it may be, that's consultants. And so using those different 3 pieces and having them in my life is resources that are out there for you. You are your brand. You're modeling that every day. And guess what? People want to help you. You just need to be vulnerable enough to ask for help. You have clients that love you. Ask for referrals. I hate doing that, right? No, I don't. I love being of service. Is there anyone else I can serve today? It's a reframe. I'm not worthy. That's not true. You clearly are adding value to people. Add more value. You have people out there that want to help you. There are angels walking amongst you that want to be that person that cheers you on, that is your biggest fan. They're called cheerleaders, right? Just ask. What's the worst that's going to happen? You don't get the referral? You don't get the meeting? That's okay. Ask again. That's how I approach things. It's like, why not? What is going to happen? What's the worst thing? Is that really failure? You're failing forward. You're learning something. Because if you shoot for the stars and you fall short and you land on the moon, it's all self-limiting beliefs. It's all scarcity versus abundance. I'm a baker. Why does it matter?
I'm a baker.
Why can't we have a bunch of bakeries? Why can't I teach other people to bake, right? And I just give them the platform to bake, which is what you guys have.
Dude, thank you.
Thank you.
Can we give a round of applause?